Discourse I Feb.6, 1938. Ca. Beloved children of Earth, we pour the fullness of our gratitude to all who have been willing to give their assistance for the freedom, which we have determined to bring to the people of Earth. As you continue in your acceptance of the great presence of all life, the mighty I Am, and in your application, you come into the understanding, comprehension, and full power of feeling that all you require is the light of your I Am, which gives you life. You come into its greater intensifying, expanding activity which knows no interference nor resistance of any kind. In the beginning I call your attention to this, as the messenger often has done, for the work we wish to conclude tonight. Will every one of you be kind enough to feel our power which we are releasing tonight into this room? First I am calling your attention to the white heat of a furnace as referred to in the magic presence, in the cave of light, which after all is not heat. Then I am calling your attention to the glorifying, achieving power which you call forth from your I Am presence. It is self-luminous, intelligent substance, which is light. In all the universe there is no resistance to light. In your physical activity, you have the example before you in electricity. You feel that you have reached considerable achievement, and truly you have in the use of electricity. But the currents of energy and power which the ascended being is able to release so far transcend the power of your electrical currents, that there is no comparison. You who have studied some of the laws of electricity know when you go beyond a certain voltage the electricity loses its shocking activity to the body. The vibratory action of the currents of energy which we release to bless mankind sometimes are so powerful, there is not the slightest sense of feeling in the body of the activity. Yet the purifying power of it transcends your fondest imagination. That is why in the messengers pleading to the I Am students everywhere to harmonize themselves and maintain harmony. It was with the desire that we bring your vibratory action to a point where we could begin to release these currents of energy to complete the raising activity for you so much more quickly. Not that we wish to hurry you, but still, knowing the need, if you do not have it now, many of you will lose the opportunity this time. I mean by that, the full achievement which it is possible for you to have. Will the earnest, sincere students be kind enough to do me the favor for the coming 6 months, and not allow your attention to rest more than a moment on the thought of death? There is no death in the whole universe. Yet many in the human octave still believe there is. However, that is not the case. Please watch and keep your attention away from it. Even if your attention does revert to it because of some appearance, take it off and go on about your work. By the time the messengers return here again, we want to find a release, a joy, a happiness, and the full consciousness of your power of application, perhaps astonishing many of yourselves. We are endeavoring to give this assistance, but we must have your cooperation to do it. Not that we wish to impose anything upon anyone, but if you wish to have our assistance, we are able to give it, providing you will comply with our request. I was given the name of Victory by the ascended masters who have made the ascension from your earth, because all that I have attempted to do has been victorious. There is not such a thing as the memory of a single limitation in my consciousness or world of activity, and has not been for a tremendously long period. That means there are no records in my feeling world of such a thing. Now, you who have been rendering service in this class will be able to feel, accept, and be that which you did not dream of at the beginning of this class. As the messengers move forward in this I Am class work, you will see plenty of manifestations of the powers of the presence, to satisfy the most eager, but if you have not the patience to continue until the wisdom which is directing this I Am activity sees fit to release these things, then you will meet disappointment. That, however, is not necessary if all will remember our great wisdom is directing the messengers, regardless of anything to the contrary. Then all will rest in the greater understanding, comprehension, and experience of this vast achievement. This might sound like just so many words to you, but if you saw within the atmosphere of the room, as I am able to do, our activity, you would think far differently. When you understand that our words are cups which carry our qualities, then they are far more than just spoken words. The words flashed to the messengers are the activity, the inner activity, which brings its charge and currents of energy into your world. If you do not feel an outer sense of it, do not be disturbed, but just accept our powerful, cleansing, purifying activity into your world. While I continue to speak to you, will you give? Free rein to our power to take out of you any undesirable desire that might be there which you do not wish. The energy of life is resistless because it is light. The wisdom of life is the directing intelligence within light which governs through it the activity of divine love as you understand it, is a balanced activity which brings the mighty harmony within the human form. In the future, will you be kind enough to remind yourself that every call to the I Am presence is the signal for the releasing of this balanced activity which compels a charge of current through your mind, body, and feeling world, not possible before this class began? I do not mean that this can be done for those who might be here for the first time, or 2 or 3 times, but I am referring to the very determined, earnest, sincere, I Am students who have a certain power of application. I ask you to watch the activity of the radiance about yourselves as you move among mankind. Do not speak of it to anyone, but you just watch and feel the radiation and its effect upon those with whom you associate. Please do not speak of it to any one of those among whom you are moving, but just watch. If you wish to have evidence of a power of this light acting naturally through you, then you will have it, but please do not discuss it with anyone. If you do, you will annul the results their effect. From our various activities on the earth, the light rays have been directed for your assistance. We from the Royal Teton have been pouring forth a constant activity, changing its vibratory action as was required, and you have all enjoyed a feast of loving kindness and harmony seldom experienced among the mass of mankind. You may have this forever sustained, if you will. From this class on, the I Am students everywhere will find themselves coming into a calm serenity, dignity of action and feeling, which will keep our calm serenity in their feeling world of this power, which allows it to pour forth with ever-increasing, intensifying activity. Let me touch upon just a few points in your America to show you all that is being done. Saint Germain has but now and then touched upon a vital point, bringing it to your attention, but I tell you, your calls and those of the I Am students all over America have made many activities possible. I am going to mention 1, perhaps 2, tonight, which will give you a joy that I hope will remain forever. The greatest menace to the American people today is dope, and we have found the means of freeing them forever. You have no idea the inroad of that in your America by the sinister activity which has wrecked the nations of the earth for century upon century. It has spread as a sinister breath in the most cunning, secret way, all over your America. For the protection of the young people of America, whom we must have a need for the incoming golden age, and through your blessed calls for their protection, the great powers of light think we have found a solution to quickly absorb all this thing throughout America. It will be done almost as secretly as it came. You have no idea, precious people of Earth, the danger which has confronted your young people of the entire America. Many unfortunate beings who have been pretending to reveal this nefarious thing to your people have been but the claws for its dispensing. Now, beloved ones, will you do us the kindness, the powers of light the kindness, to make the following call? I shall ask the messengers to put a paragraph in the next magazine, asking the students all over America to issue this mighty, I Am, decree for the dissolving and consuming of all dope, its cause and effect in America, to call for its annihilation, and to the forces of nature to no longer allow to be produced that from which it is made. We will then at your call take up this activity, and in all parts of the world where this substance has been grown, it shall wither and disappear. I say to you, so you may know the far-reaching powers of your call, we have not touched upon this, and Saint Germain has touched upon it but very little. You perhaps think war is your great danger today, and so it is, but this poisonous breath and substance which has been spread among the people would unfit them if war came into your country. Then the sinister force would seize upon the feeling of mankind, and by the use of dope make them unfit to cope with their adversaries. That is why tonight I am asking all sincere students of America, individually and in your groups, to give 3 decrees if no others, for the seizing and binding of the entities, keeping war and dope out of America. It is incredible that the cunning of the sinister forces can spread a condition of this kind over the entire America with such rapidity, principally because in the large cities things go on unnoticed, which in the smaller localities would be quickly discerned. Let us change the scene, please. Look beyond this into the greater achievement which, with your determined cooperation as has been thus far, shall come forth. After the victory of the light holds its dominion in America, you will see arise, replacing much in your present cities, a beauty, a perfection which will thrill every human being to the limit with the beauty and the perfection which will be there. You will have time for the recreation you desire, and by the powers of light and energy released, will supply come to you. Then you will know peace on earth, goodwill to men, for then will there be no ill will to each other. Television and all of these various things will be brought into common use, and the great cosmic mirror will then come forth for the blessing and perfection of mankind. While the intervening activity of the perfecting of the outer structure of mankind goes on, you will find mechanical instruments under the direction of great minds, which will assist beyond your fondest imagination today to gain the victory and the perfection of your human form. There are lights which can be used with the proper understanding. One of the blessed I Am students has touched this and contacted it. It will bring great peace and health when it is maintained, and we think we shall bless her with many wonderful things. In the meantime, do not look to these things mechanically to which I refer, but go on in your earnest application, and let the great law take care of what is brought to your assistance. Will you remember that? Never for one moment look to mechanical things for your assistance, but go on applying your law of the I Am, which is invaluable for the great mass of mankind. Never for one moment look to mechanical things for your assistance, but go on applying your law of the I Am, which is invaluable for the great mass of mankind. After certain changes have taken place, then the thing is to bring the mass into a greater perfection quickly. Then these mechanical inventions shall be used to bring mankind into a quick attunement when they will begin to call forth these same forks you are able to call forth now from the I Am presence. This could not be done until certain work was done in America. These instruments are all ready to come forth. That which Bob and Rex destroyed was mentioned to you. The frightful danger of it was that they had contacted the cosmic mirror. Notice, beloved ones, a thing which has once come into being makes it etheric record, and if there are those who secretly are unscrupulous, they will sometimes pick them out of the etheric records. Therefore, do you understand the great guard which has been constantly placed over mankind to shield and protect innocent individuals from frightful destruction? That is why I gave you this glimpse of what stands before you, and which will be yours. We stand in the midst of two great extremes, the greatest power of light ever known on earth, and the greatest destructive power. If it had not been that America is a point where this focus of the I Am light could be held, you would all have followed the example of every civilization which has gone down in the past. Much of your America, the Orient, and Europe would have disappeared, and the continents of Mu and Atlantis would have arisen and taken their places. The great cosmic law and the great laws of life have said this greatest destruction was not necessary. To bring in this perfection, perhaps several hundred years in advance, is why this tremendous effort is being made by the powers of light, the ascended masters, the cosmic beings, the legions of light, and the great cosmic light itself. Great joy should fill everyone's heart of those who have come to understand the teachings which Saint Germain has brought forth, and they should stand steadfast by this I Am instruction to bless themselves and render this service. They will one day find themselves beings of happiness and glory, for this service will never go unrewarded in the future. It shall bring in your great, great perfection. I say this to you tonight so you may contemplate the blessing which is yours. Some of this which I have said to you has become a law, has become a command for your perfection. What do I mean by command? Not of you physically, but of the currents of energy which belong to your life. May I add just a few words to the explanation the messenger gave concerning the consuming of your human creation, and setting aside of time and space? Please observe the chart. You see around the I Am presence, that magnificent circle of color which represents your accumulation of good through the centuries. Our great desire, because of the need, is to bring you, as many as possible, to a point where this can begin to release into your world of activity and use. That is why our service has been rendered in this class. Will all of you who care to, accept that as a real, actual activity in your life, right here in your physical world, to let the service be rendered which is so much needed? Will you be kind enough to remember the radiance of this class? I am saying this for the individuals whose human still wants proof. Will you remember the radiance of this class, and then remember the radiance when you come again and see the change? You have noticed the change in every class. It will step up, as you use the term, more rapidly now. So, beloved ones, I want you to have, because of your attention, the greatest possible assistance which can be given. I say to you who have been out of employment, who have not had the conditions you would like, stand alone in your room, raise your hands to your mighty I Am presence, and say with firmness, which you will be assisted to feel. No longer do I accept one single thing of the limitations or conditions of earth. Mighty I Am presence, take command of this mind and body. Compel the outer into obedience and sustain it. Stand guard over it, and see that no longer does the outer self feel discord and inharmony. Then to the best of your ability hold your self-control as you meet conditions in the outer world, and you will see how quickly you will find it perfectly easy to maintain harmony in the face of whatever conditions you are required to meet. Beloved ones, so often the remark has been made, not unkindly, about the great number of I am decrees, affirmations, and statements which have been given. Just now, when I am giving you these particular calls, it is because in the charged atmosphere of this room they contain immeasurable power for your blessing. If you would retain in your feelings the same feeling you have now while I am speaking, you would be able to return to those calls and feel the same feeling in the quiet of your own home that you do now. Because of disturbance by the wavering of the attention, mankind does not always retain this which we give. I ask you to charge yourselves to retain this now, so when your attention goes back to these calls again, you will be able to draw, in the silence of your own room, the same radiance which is here now. Then you will find your mastery. Do you not understand, beloved ones, that we are using every angle possible to come at these points of truth? So while one assists a few greatly, another will assist another group more? In this way we are able to give all of you, according to your rate of vibratory action, that which you can utilize to the greatest advantage at the time. That is why we sometimes suddenly, like this, give forth mighty, I am, decrees for your blessing, because under the radiation of the moment, it does tremendous things in your feeling world and the outer activity of your world as it goes forth. Perhaps you have not been reminded that in the charged atmosphere like this, whatever is given for your blessing is charged forth into the activity of your world ahead of you, to act there for your assistance. I realize this particular point has not been definitely put before you, but it is imperative. Therefore, retain this. I remind you that the Divine Director and myself are doing this work together today because we maintain and can project, according to the vibratory action to which you have been raised, a tremendously sustained activity in your feeling world. There is not one in this room who has come throughout the 10 days of this class, who does not have but very little of his or her own human creation left. Think of it, beloved ones. We ourselves did not know such a service could be rendered, because we do not know to what degree we can depend upon the outer feeling of mankind. This has been so unparalleled in the joy, love, and kindness poured forth, that we want it to be an example to you of the future in your individual activity. In your love and kindness poured forth in this class to ourselves and the messengers, do you not see that it can continue in your individual life by your outpouring of love and kindliness to persons, places, and conditions? It is the example before you, beloved ones. Try to feel it, try to keep reminded of it, so you may have this great magnificent expansion continue on and on, acting within you. Oh, because you do not see it with your physical eyes does not mean it is not acting. Please remember, almost all the forces you are using are invisible. Can't you trust us just enough to allow that to act which we so joyously wish to give for your assistance? Let it have an opportunity to act. Oh, of course, if you do not care for it, we would not intrude it, but you who do want it, oh, just open your hearts and your feeling world to the full glory of its power and activity. Then everything your attention rests upon, the I am presence, or ourselves, in the slightest activity taking place, you will cause to be eternally sustained and have the blessing of it. When you have been told from the beginning that you are the decreers for your world, of what is going to act there and how this energy called forth is going to act for you, won't you believe it? Won't you keep yourselves reminded of it? The power of your attention is a magnificent activity to produce any constructive result required in your life. By the fixing of your attention upon an achievement or accomplishment, the power of your life flows into it uninterfered with, as long as your attention is held there. Once you understand how great is this power, you will use it. Of course, the messengers and we have tried to convey that point to you, for the one-pointed focus of your vision, your physical sight, your attention, and your power of qualification act with infinite power to produce any given result which is constructive. There have been a few who have, by a stretch of imagination, believed they could take this I am instruction and turn it into destructive activity against the messengers, against the light. They forget that they are calling on the powers of the I am presence to produce this. The I am presence is perfection and will not produce any destructive activity. Therefore, individuals can only use the accumulated energy already drawn about them for any destructive purpose, and today, that will not last very long. Therefore, let no one be so unhappy as to think he can take this great I am energy and use it for destructive purposes. It cannot be done. Tonight, will you be kind enough to accept the eternal blessing of the group of friends who are with me at the Royal Teton, the great ascended masters, and the great cosmic beings who are giving such assistance to the earth at this time? Give them your love. Give them your attention, after first focusing it to your presence. Then call forth this power with a great calm, serene majesty which allows the feeling to be governed, and let our blessings fill your world with our happiness, our perfecting activity, the glory and powers of light. I commend our precious Lotus with all my heart for her tireless service in the class and outside of it. May the whole world bless her for that limitless energy and the glory of life which is hers. May you all know and be the same glory, and render that limitless service which she is rendering to blessed, precious mankind. Let no man or woman be so proud in the human octave as to hesitate to use the endearing terms of beloved or precious to their friends and associates. Remember, beloved ones, in those words is the feeling of kindliness which mankind needs today, oh, so much more than you can imagine, and every ounce of energy you put forth filled with love and kindliness is lifting mankind to where they can be the victory of light. May your memory of me and my words to you always contain the feeling of victory in your life, in your activity, in all that you desire. Even unto your ascension, still may the word victory shine out before you and beckon you onto the final goal, your ascension. I thank you. February 20.